Hey, it's Mark Shepard, Cowabunga.com, and today I want to talk about a couple of things. I actually did take the day off yesterday. It was Sunday, and I kind of noticed that I wanted to force myself to get up early and do a video, but I had spent the day yesterday in a kind of an event that was about John of God, and I realized that I was doing a lot on Sunday and that I needed to rest, and it's kind of a long story, and I know we don't have a lot of time. So essentially, John of God is a trance medium who lives in Brazil, and he literally does thousands of spiritual energy healings as well as literal physical. He goes into a trance, and he literally does operations on people. And this workshop I was at yesterday was a woman who is a kind of a guide who has spent a lot of time down there and who has kind of gone through all the healing process with John of God, and or Medium João, as he prefers to be called, Medium João. And so the afternoon part of the program, we set up a healing current, and I was sitting in the healing current, and even just mentioning it right now, I feel I had so much heat that came into my body. I mean, I'm already starting to sweat just thinking about being in this energy current, this energetic flow that we held together as a group. And we invoked the healing entities of light that work with Medium João, or John of God. And so it was intense. It was intense, and I gave myself permission to take Sunday off. So that's one point I want to make, is that, we can make a personal vow, right? We can make a personal intention. And there's a line between making excuses and kind of falling off your goal, or grinding away even when your body and your spirit are saying, no, I need rest. So there's a fine line between listening to yourself and also demanding of yourself that you don't wimp out or make a bunch of excuses. So that was one point I wanted to make. And that sometimes you have to pay attention to what is really in your highest and best interest. And one of the reasons I wanted to do a video every day, one of the reasons I wanted to make a commitment to myself and keep it in a public way, is that I've had a whole kind of cluster of weight loss clients. And I realize that it's not about the food, it's not about the exercise, it's not about the excess stored energy that we call fat. It's not about that. It's about a deeper healing that needs to take place. And the insight I got this morning as I was having breakfast and just kind of meditating on, the healing process, is that we are really living under an illusion that the body is real, for one thing. And ultimately, any physical manifestation of dis-ease or illness, dis-ease, I really prefer that word, because it's really, you are not at ease. There's something that is not at ease. And a number of my weight loss clients were doing fine, and then they hit some kind of an internal point where they got scared. Some kind of internal point where I think on a certain level they realized that the reason they keep putting food in their mouth is because on a certain level they're wounded. I mean, that's the position that I take as a practitioner, that it's not about the food, it's not about the exercise, it's about how are you trying to soothe yourself? How are you in pain? And if we address the pain, sometimes, like if you have something on your body that's infected, the doctor has to literally kind of lance it and get the pus out, get the poison out. And one of the things that, from watching the movie and hearing this person talk about the work of John of God, is that some people go in and they're told what the protocol is. In this particular room, you need to keep your eyes shut, because that, if you open your eyes, it interrupts the current. And this healing energy, if your eyes are open, for some reason it interrupts the flow of energy. So don't do it. Well, this lady goes in and she decided that, that didn't apply to her. She could keep her eyes open, right? And she didn't get healing. Surprise. And then the other piece that comes in is there was a guy who went there. His body was almost destroyed by HIV, by the AIDS virus. And he had to go back for like 5 or 6 years. He kept going back, and he had gradual improvement. And to look at him on camera, he looks healthy and robust. He's not the skeleton that he was. He has made healing progress. And his point was that sometimes, some of us have more to work on, or some of us have more resistance, or some of us, it takes, there's so many blocks and so many fear shields up that in order for the healing energy to actually get in, stuff has to fall away. And so today's point, the message I want to make today is that ultimately any pain in your life, any dis-ease in your life, any problem in your life, anything that seems insolvable is a thought construct. It's an emotional, mental construct. And it is the entry to healing. It is the entry to healing. And if you have physical manifestations of pain in your body, or if you have something going on in your body, think of your unconscious mind or your spirit, as you will, however you want to think of it, as a little kid. And you're the grown-up, and you're going about your business, and you're engaged, you're busy, and the little kid is kind of tugging on your sleeve, and you're like, go away, stop pestering me. And the little kid's tugging on your sleeve, trying to get your attention. Go away, leave me alone. And essentially what disease is your body starting to go, okay, you're not listening when I'm tugging gently, fine, I'm going to scream, I'm going to shout, I'm going to kick you, I'm going to bite you until you pay attention. There is something wrong. Pay attention, right? And instead what I see people do is they want to blame the healer. They want to blame this. They're always looking for something outside of themselves to blame, or they'll ask disempowering questions like, oh, why is this happening to me? Which installs a victim energy inside themselves. And the reality is that we are creating this reality moment to moment. If you don't like the way your life is going, you have to change your thoughts. Now, changing one thought today, that's like a drop in the bucket. If you've been thinking a certain way for 40 years, going to a hypnotherapist and spending an hour in trance, that can help a lot. But ultimately, you are carrying the most powerful hypnotist between your ears. Those thoughts that you continue to give power to in your life, those thoughts could be toxic. And that's where the change needs to happen. And we are so filled with our own ego and our own self-importance and our own fear and our own worry and our own anxiety and all this stuff that we're constantly running through this mental movie house called your mind. It's as if you played horror films every day and watched them every day, it would affect your life. Well, typically the anxiety sufferer is running a horror movie in their mind all the time. They're thinking out into the future of what they don't want to have happen. And that creates literally the biophysical reaction as your body does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined, and your body reacts as if it is happening. So really what I saw in the John of God documentary and listening to the woman that has worked closely with him for several years is that, he said, even Medium Joao, John of God, even the entities that work through him said, hey, these physical operations that we do where, he will literally take a knife and cut something and pull something out of the person, those aren't really necessary. They're just done for the disbelievers. They're done to demonstrate the power of the spirit over mind. So the bottom line is you actually right now, today, have all the resources necessary to heal your life. Today, right now, you have all the resources necessary to heal your life. Now, you may want to argue with me, and I'm not interested in having that argument. I want you to go and just test it. Change your thoughts. Compulsively and obsessively change your thoughts. And I've given this out a number of times, so forgive me if I'm repeating this. You may be watching this for the first time. And that is a phrase, why does it work out better than I can possibly imagine? And your assignment is to write that out. I write it out almost every day. If I'm not writing out, I'm saying it. It's a mantra. And why does it work? Well, because it's a why question. And it engages your unconscious mind. It presupposes a different result. The language itself presupposes, why does it work out better than I can possibly imagine? It opens the field, the energetic field for something good happening, but it leaves it open-ended. So your ego can't come in and sabotage it. It's basically, why does it work out better than I could possibly imagine? You don't even know what the answer to that question is. It may be, you may have a terminal illness, and dying, you may suddenly realize as you leave the body, wow, it really did work out better than I could possibly imagine because the body was an illusion. You may have, I don't know. But think about it. There's nothing in this world. I mean, you came into this world with nothing. And where did you come from? I mean, before you were conceived, where were you? Right? Before a man and a woman got together and made sweet love, where were you before you came into this world? We are spirits with bodies, people. And these bodies are an illusion. We are spirits and we're crammed into this physical manifestation. And why are we here? We're here to learn. So if you refuse to learn, if you're just going to stay believing that this body is real, then you're gonna create stuff in your body to work on. I mean, that's just my perception. And I could be totally not right about this. I mean, I could be totally, in my own little la-la land. But it seems to me the more I manage my thoughts, the more I love myself. I mean, literally the other day I was just deeply taking in the idea of deeply and completely accepting myself. And I'm sharing that with you not because I'm in any way better than you. That's not the point. I'm trying to demonstrate to you that your thoughts are powerful beyond your current awareness. But if you keep thinking the thoughts you've been thinking, you're going to keep getting the result you've been getting. That's why the work I do is all about changing your thoughts, changing your mind. And one of the phrases I've used is defeat the dark side in your personal and professional life and master your mind for a change. Well, the reality is personal mastery is about healing in every area of your life. Personal mastery is about taking charge of your change. Personal mastery is ultimately about being able to clear your own stuff. The other thing I liked about the John of God work is that the energies that work through John of God always say, heal yourself first. Heal yourself first. If you have no health, how can you help other people? Heal yourself first. Heal yourself first. So today's lesson, today's thought, today's concept is heal yourself first. And everything you're doing is part of your healing process. Every problem in your life is an access point. It's a gateway, so to speak, a gateway into something deeper and more profound about yourself. And ultimately, here's what you're going to discover. You're going to discover that your thoughts create your reality. Don't believe me? Test it, right? You're going to discover that the physical body is malleable and changeable based on the spiritual. You're going to discover that the healing journey is actually the only journey worth taking. I hung out once at a Christmas party and there were a bunch of state workers there, right? And the state worker is an interesting mindset. There's a lot of them here in Albany, New York, and they're good people, but they have bought into the idea that security and a good job and health benefits, are the way to go. And most of them can't really be fired. As long as they don't do anything horrible, they just stay on the payroll, right? So they go to their little cubicle, and these guys at the party, these people at the party were, talking about how they love to travel. And I'm like, I mean, travel's okay, but I don't really need to go anywhere because I'm happy. You know what I mean? If you're not happy, you have to do external things. You have to travel. You have to buy yourself things. You have to, you have to self-medicate with drugs and alcohol or whatever, or TV or food. But if you're actually happy, if you're living a fulfilling life, it's like food becomes almost something you do as a second thought. Oh, I gotta keep the body healthy, so I'll feed myself. It's not something you obsess about, right? It may be something you enjoy, but it's not something you obsess about. If you are actually doing what you love and working on yourself and exploring who you truly are, it doesn't mean you don't have challenges. It doesn't mean you don't have days where things don't go the way you planned. But the reality is, when you change your thoughts, anything that happens, you find a way to use it. That is cowabunga. That's literally taking whatever happens, finding a way to use it. So today, and I guess this is actually going out to a couple of the people that I've been working with who I know will never watch this, but energetically, I'm sending you my love. Energetically, I'm sending you the deep, deep belief I have in you, in your own magnificence. And not only do I deeply and completely accept myself, that's one of the EFT or meridian tapping setup point is low. Even though I have this problem, I deeply and completely accept myself. Not only do I deeply and completely accept myself, but I deeply and completely accept you, and I deeply and completely accept exactly where you are. And you may not be able to take this information in yet. And maybe you hear it from me and you go, I don't know what that guy was talking about. But maybe then a week from now or a month from now or a year from now, someone else says something similar. And you go, what is it with all these people, And then maybe 2 years later, somebody says something similar, and maybe then you finally get it. Our thoughts are powerful beyond your current belief. Thoughts are powerful. Why does it work out better than you can possibly imagine? Why is it that the thing that seems like a problem is really a gift? Turn it around. Find the gift. Find the thread in the problem and begin to pull on it. Eventually, it will come out. It will come untangled. And then there is room for healing. That's my message for today. Have a wonderful day. Cowabunga.com. Mark Shepard, over and out.